Hello friends, today's date is February 22nd, 2024. Welcome to today's current affairs discussion. Let's start the discussion with our first article, which is about the IPCC assessment report. Why is it in the news? Right now, the IPCC has released its 7th assessment report, which is why it's in the news. Let's take a look at it. The IPCC has been issuing this report for the last 30 years. The report has been released 6 times before this, and this is the 7th report. So, it's being called AR. The IPCC does not make its own report. The IPCC does not issue its own report. The IPCC makes a report with the help of researchers. It makes a panel of a bureau, and the panel of this bureau takes the help of researchers. With their help, it prepares this report. Before knowing the report, let's see about IPCC. IPCC is an intergovernmental panel. Its full form is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This is the full form of the IPCC. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, is its full form. It is a UN. This body works to assist climate change, how climate change is taking place, what can be improved in it, what is the improvement in it. Reports about whether targets are being fulfilled or not. It was founded in 1988, it was established in 1988, and what was established was UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Programme, and it was founded by the WMO, World Meteorological Organization. Speak of the member, its members are 195 countries. 195 countries are its members, including India. What is the objective of this? This will make a scientific assessment of what is happening in climate change and the policymaker. It will give this report to those who make policies so that they do it in the policy. EASY can make its policy, talk about its structure, neither in its structure nor in its structure. One is the IPCC Bureau. What does this bureau do to make reports? There are 3 working groups. Working group first, working group second, and working group third. What do they do? These 3 different working groups are for different purposes. They provide different kinds of help in different ways at different times. The IPCC issues different reports at different times, such as a synthesis report, a methodology report, and a special report. These are made for different purposes and released separately. What's happening now? The summit of the global stocktake is coming. The next summit is about to happen. What is this global stocktake? It is a conference to discuss ongoing climate-related issues, be it any problem that is ongoing, to deal with them and discuss them. This global stocktake conference happens every 5 years, which was first held in 2022 during the 28th meeting of the Conference of the Parties. It was a part of the 28th meeting of the UNFCCC Conference of the Parties. It was held for the first time in 2022. Global Stocktake is a conference that explores why the world is happening like this, because we had taken a target under the Paris Agreement. Our target was that our temperature will not increase more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. All of us together had made a target. Now, whether work is being done on this target or not, what is the situation now? What can the situation be in these futures? To see all this. This is where the Global Stocktake Conference is held, to examine. It's a conclave that takes place every 5 years. The first was done in 2022. Alright, now the next one will be in 2028. Then it will be examined whether the targets taken are being met or not. But how will it be known? For that there is a need for proper data. Then from where will this data come? This data will be available through the report of IPCC. Then all the countries together requested the IPCC to give us your report. Release your report so that we can easily find out what is going on. Through this data, we can easily find out what is going on. How do we target our target? And if it's not right, we're not backing down. We don't step back, the target is not going far. This was the purpose of this entire IPCC report. Now that the report is out, it's easy to decide when it will be submitted next. This whole article was about the IPCC. Let's move on to our next article, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and CSC. Why is it in the news? Now the NCSC has submitted its report to the President, which is why it's in the news. Whatever is happening in West Bengal is relevant to us for this news. The NCSC Commission is important to us. Let's take a look at the NCSC Commission. It's a constitutional body. I keep saying constitutional body, different bodies like a constitutional body. What is mentioned in the constitution or constitution is a constitutional body, or there is a national body. The other is the executive body, which is an executive body, is it not? One is the body created through its orders, through its notifications. That one, there is an executive body. Then there is a statutory body, which is by passing the Parliament Act through the Act. That body is made up of separate bodies. This is NCSC. It is not a constitutional body. It is mentioned in the Constitution. It has been written in Article 383.38, that is 338 of the Constitution. Article 338, that is 338, describes it. It is a constitutional ward. What does the mandate do? This is the body known as the scheduled castes. Let's talk about SC. The exploitation is happening with the scheduled castes. That exploitation works to prevent it and prepares safeguards for them, along with protecting their social, educational, and other rights. This is the work of NCSC. Now let's look at its background. Let's see what happened at the very start when it was created. There was only one body for SC. There was only one body for SC, and ST called the National Commission for. After this, the body for SC was separated, and for ST, it got separated. So for SC, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes was given Article 38, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes. In Article 38 of the Constitution, scheduled castes were kept, and in Article 38A, the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes was kept. These two were separated. When did these two get separated? They were separated, they were made separately in the 89 Constitution Amendment Act. The 89th Constitution Amendment Act 2 was added. I misspoke earlier. Two things happened here. The 65th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1990. In it, extra members were added. Earlier, there was only one member. Initially, there was only one member. Then in 1990, the 65th Constitutional Amendment Act came. Too many multi-members were added, too many members as well. After that, a problem arose between these two. Then in 1989, the Amendment Act that came in 2003, this Constitution Amendment Act came in 2003, separated the SCE and ST commissions from these two. The National Commission for Scheduled Caste was given under Article 338, was created for Scheduled Caste, and the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes was inserted in Article 338A, was implemented separately. They were separated in 2004. It has been in effect since 2004. From 2004, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes, which was in Article 338, was for SCs. The National Commission for Scheduled Tribes in Article 338A was for tribes. These two were separated. The 102nd Amendment came in 2018, one in 2018. And the new Constitutional Amendment Act has come 10 seconds. What was done in it which is backward? There are classes, there are OBCs. Another new commission has been created for them. So the National Commission for Backward Classes was added, and it was added to it. Scheduled Tribe in 338A for Scheduled Caste, in 338B 4 and 4 backward classes in 338B. These three are different. Done. This is the situation now. Okay, you understand this now. What is their work? Their work is done every year annually. This report is done by the President. We give the report to the President if there is any such report. If the situation comes, they can also issue the report in the middle, by the way. Annually releases the report, but when the situation comes, it also releases the report in the middle. Can you do the composition? What happens to it? In the composition, there is a chairperson. Okay, there is a vice chairperson. Okay, and there is a third. There is a team of 3 members, one president, the other vice president, and one of 3 members. The team is okay. What is the tenure? The tenure will be decided by the president. It depends on the president. So this was our entire article, that National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe, and Backward Classes. Move towards our next article. Next is our article related to the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death. Why is it in the news right now? A case of bubonic plague has been registered in the USA and its report has come. That is why this news is so important for us. For the exam, we see bubonic about the plague. Bubonic, there is a bacterial infection that is. What is the cause? Caused by bacteria. What is its cause? Its cause is a bacteria called Yersinia pestis cause. Remember first this bacterial infection. What is the reason? What is the reason? The reason for this is Yersinia pestis. It is a genetic disease. Genotic means animal to human, means a disease transmitted from animal to human. Then this genotic disease is small mammals, which are neither small nor those who are rats. It spreads more than they do if they bite them. If it is infected, then it spreads from them. Okay, it is a very fatal disease. If talking about its history, today means 500 AD. If I do, even then there was a lot of death. After that I had 1300. Even when they came around, it included 33% of the population in Europe. It was over. So Europe has come many times before, when I came in around 1300. It is said that 33% or one-third of the population was exterminated. Some people even claim that half of Europe's population perished. So it became a highly lethal disease. It struck afterward as well in 1800, 1850, 1852 and 1892. India and China were heavily impacted. Related to this, we had an act which we discussed the day before yesterday. That act was passed in response to the outbreak of bubonic plague in Mumbai, which is presently known as Bombay, and a large outbreak in Bengal which claimed 10 million lives. The situation had become such that the act was passed to control all of them. Its purpose was to manage the disease that had extensively spread. Now, there are three types of this disease. The first type is called bubonic plague, which is not as fatal. It is caused by a normal infection. If an infected animal bites you, it can be cured, then you will be all right. If the blood that is in it is infected bacteria, it is in your blood. It will penetrate, not three types, three processes. So the first process is of bubonic plague. This normal happens by infecting you. The second point is, okay, what happens in the process if these bacteria are in your blood? If it enters the blood, what will happen if this bacteria enters and a little danger, it becomes more damaging to you? The third is the third one, isn't it? In stage 3, this bacteria that is not reached your lungs, it reaches the first in normal infection, you will be saved. Blood in the second reached in and became a little more fatal, but it can be cured. Third, it happens, it reaches your lungs, there is no chance of it. If you want to escape, then there is a direct death. Okay, this situation here, it is very deadly. The first condition does not spread from human to human. Those who talk about bubonic plague are the second stage. There is also safety. Even in somic, that does not spread, but it is pneumonic, isn't it? In this, it starts spreading from human to human. It is fatal here. There is death here. So it had 3 stages. Now, how does its transmission spread? How does it spread? We had seen the spread. How is transmission? How will it be infected? Whatever is there, if they bite you, then you will get it. If there is an infected person, there is a person who has been infected. Even if you come in touch with him, it could be possible then it would have spread. Its infusion period is 2 to 8 days. What is the symptom? It can also have swollen lambs, lip nodes, etc. And respiratory disease occurs due to respiratory disease. The death rate is 30 to 7% if you get it. So there is a chance of dying. There is a 30 to 60% chance of dying. What is the treatment in this? What is its treatment? What is the treatment? Antibiotics such as ciprofloxacin, diclofenac. There are many types of treatment available for this. Now it is not a matter of tension. Today, at present, its treatment is also available, antibiotics, etc. Right now, we're looking at Madagascar, then Congo, and Peru. It seems all this content was about the bubonic plague. Let's move on. Our next point of interest is an article about Senegal. Is there something happening over there? Well, the news is not so significant for us. What's important is the location. Let's focus on that. Speaking about the location, it's situated in northwestern Africa. Where in north and west? It's in northwestern Africa. Africa is a country in the continent of Africa, so it's in northwestern Africa. Now, let's understand where it falls in terms of latitude. It's in the northwestern hemisphere, north of the equator, and on the western side. So it falls in the northwestern hemisphere. Which countries does it share its boundaries with? It's not far from Mauritania in the north, and from a gardener somewhere else. It's becoming more common. Then it's happening again with gin and also with gin fizz. It's happening too. Now it's gambling not. Gambling won't show you where it's located. Yes, it's not sticking with gambling. Gambling is inside, like how a veggie eats Italian. It is intimate. Indeed, it is gambling within that of Senegal, inside a small. So a country is there, meaning inside one constructed country is. So this is gambling inside the country is. From its exterior, no one will show you boredom inside. Exterior boundary is that your Moorish Mali gin and gin fizz are from outside boundary. You will look hereupon a Senegal river is going, that Mauritian Senegal in the middle. Since boundary making work, Sahil Regan, your reading will be fine. Sahil Regan, what happens is that the real top part is thereupon. So poor desert is there, fine on one side, semi-arid is so his side. The reason is on one side you will be shown forest on one side, semi-arid will be shown upon, desert will be shown, middles. That portion is Sahil Regan, is what Senegal is not. This is Sahil Regan, part here upon semi-arid type. Those are not then, this is desertic, not the forest type area. Semi-arid portion is, so he says it is Senegal is semi, that Sahil part is fine. So this is the entire, we have seen Senegals regarding going on in our next article, which is that The article is about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. It's quite an honor to discuss him. Why is he currently in the news? His birthday was celebrated on February 19th. His birthday celebration takes place every year on February 19th. That is why he is in the news. Let's look more into him. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was born in 1630. He was born in the fort of Seoneri. He was born into the Bhosal dynasty and was the founder of the Maratha Empire. He waged war against Adil Shahi, defeating him in the Battle of Pratapgarh and establishing the Maratha Empire. Adil Shahi was overthrown during the Battle of Pratapgarh most notably. He is often referred to as Chhatrapati and Sakarata Kshatriya, also known as Hindavi Dharmadar, addressed with various titles. His capital was in Raigad Fort. When it comes to the forts, he had Raigad Fort, Tona Fort. Gondwana Fort were some of the important forts that he built. There were also some forts. Discuss their contribution. The first contribution was the development of some very good forts. Then they established a strong naval force. It was so strong that it protected trade throughout the Maratha Empire. The work they did is still used by the Indian Navy today. They even created a revenue administration. They introduced the Revatwari system. Along with that, they also introduced Chauth and Sardeshmukhi. What is Chauth and Sardeshmukhi? It's a tax on non-Maratha emperors who aren't part of Maratha kingdom. The tax was imposed on the Jagirdars as well. They had to pay 1/4 of their income. If your income was $100, you had to pay $25 to the Maratha kings. If not, the Maratha would attack you. To protect yourself, you have to give revenue 1/4 Maratha. There is a type of tax to protect you. You have to pay a quarter tax. Apart from this, what is omniscient? You will have to give this 1/4 part. You will have to give 1/4, and in Sardeshmukhi it used to be 10% extra means you have given 1/4 of it. Apart from this, you also have to pay 10% extra as additional tax. He was Sardeshmukhi. Well, he had also created a military administration that was quite good. They built as a military and they have a guerrilla technique. He is quite famous as well as he founded Hindavi Swaraj and Hindu. He used them a lot in the Indian struggle, like Tilak Maharaj. He had taken his name and carried forward the struggle. Okay, and the battle of you must have heard about Pratapgarh. This battle that took place is not enough. The famous battle was because that is from here, the turning point was the Maratha Empire. It started from here. He defeated Adil Shah, and from here, the Maratha Empire had good governance. They discussed about their governance as well. They did a good job establishing the Ashta Pradhan Mandal with 8 councils. Which minister was first among all? It was the Peshwa, who was also the prime minister. And then there was Attaya, also known as Attaya, who was fine. He was a finance minister. At that time, I was the finance minister, who was known as Attaya. Then the actual secretary was there, and a minister who was the foreign minister. Senapati was pretty good handling the army. Then Sumat is there, who were the naval officers, the judges who worked as justices, and the Pandit and Rao were connected with the cultural ministers. So remember these things, they will help you. If you get a direct question in the prelims about what the summit was, you will get confused. That's okay, and that's what these things are there to help you. Now this was for today's discussion. Now let's look at some questions from yesterday's homework, doing it in true and false manner. And yesterday was about Masi Mata connected with Tamil Nadu. Yes, this is true. The second option is related to Munich. It happened in 1963. This is also true. Mangalam Tiger Reserve, is it not in Andhra Pradesh or in Tamil Nadu? Then this false. Okay then, which border does Colombia border with Brazil to Venezuela? It doesn't seem to be from Chile, it looks from Panama. Okay, so it false is okay, 2 false are, 2 is true. Then about Chilka article, I have 2 homework. See and come and ask the question related to the article. The Chilika article is the first saltwater article in it. This is the Ramsar side of India. Yes, it is correct, then incorrect here it has been asked. Not correct, if it is asked, then both are correct. Then D, if it comes incorrect, then what is the benefit of the parliamentary form of government? Option C is correct. So that was all you had in today's discussion. If you want PDF, then join the Telegram channel. There you will get the PDF. Hindi, English will be found in both. Its link is in the description or in the comment section. If you get it, thank you. Thank you very much for discussion.